Hello and welcome back to Mellow Miniatures. Today I have a really exciting video. I recently bought the Jazza's Mega Minis box, which hopefully there's a big picture of with all its contents for you to see there. It's just a little, well, it's miles too big to fit into frame, so you're going to have to deal with the image or the images that I'm showing you right now. But specifically in this video, we're going to be taking a look at the Apocalypse Ghost. So there's some lovely artwork on the top there of the man in the apocalypse and a ghost behind. I've not actually opened these, opened this even, so this will be, I get to open it along with you guys. Let's just hope I can get it all into frame. So here we go with the opening. Okay, so immediately we are greeted by this flyer from Puppets War, who are the people who sculpted this diorama. It's just a flyer and some instructions on how to proceed. You can see, I mean, they're not all that clear. I don't know if I can get the focus on them, but they are instructions. Things like, if necessary, cut off the sprue connections and things like that. You can see here, if I just adjust the tripod a little bit, there are some instructions on how to build, and then we get into what is hopefully, these awesome resin parts. Some of them you can see, some of them you can't really see. So what I'm going to do is I'll take this out and I'll give it a quick sort of test build in this format before we glue it together, before we cut things if necessary, and we'll take a look at what we have. Okay, so here we have the base of the Apocalypse Ghost diorama. It comes in 3 pieces. I'm not sure if you can see the seams though, which is good. So there's the big base bit here. There is this small sort of makeshift crucifix, if I can bring that into focus. Doesn't want to focus. So there's that, and then there's this piece of corrugated metal as well. And that's it for the base. That is the entire thing. This is all just one solid piece, as you can see there. Sorry, I've not got the macro lens on my camera, because these are a little bigger than what I'm used to. So we'll move the base out of the way. Let's get the Apocalypse Survivor in next. The Apocalypse Survivor here is in a few more pieces. This requires a lot more cleanup before we get into the build. But you can see here, that's his body. There's his head sat down there, and then this is his left arm, which should sit something along the lines of that, and his right arm should sit something like that. So at the end we've got, if I can get that arm back up, we've got something vaguely like this. Sorry for the noise on the table. Yeah, something that looks like that. But these pieces, I'll show you in a bit more detail in a sec, but these pieces require more cleanup than something you would maybe clip straight off of a sprue. What I mean by that is things like this little bit coming off his knee here, which should be a round knee, and if I can focus on the other knee, there's a little bit coming off there. So there's things like this all over the model. There were some on the base as well, but they're not quite as bad. You can see here this really well detailed resin head, which to be fair shouldn't require too much before it goes on. That should go on nicely. The arms, they do have these small sort of almost like sprue connections, I guess. That's just where they've been moulded, which need trimming off. So you can get your handy dandy sprue cutters. These are a new pair that came in the Mega Minis box, which you can just cut that piece off like that, and it's nice and flat. Not quite, but we can get in there with a knife afterwards, which also comes in the Mega Minis box, which I'm not going to show on YouTube at the moment because it is quite sharp. I know YouTube can be funny about knives sometimes. Here we have the other arm, the right arm, and again you just got to cut some of that sprue off, and the bits go flying everywhere. But that's you see that's a lot smoother of a transition now to go onto his arm. So let's move these guys around and we'll bring in the Apocalypse Ghost herself. Okay, here is the Apocalypse Ghost, and in true Mellow Miniatures fashion there is a warning light on the battery, so we'll try and make this quick. Here we have her head, her shoulders, her arms, and a piece of hair that clips on like that. This is her dress, which that just sits on top of there. So you can see that's now all one piece. Putting those aside, there is her leg, which just goes in there, and right at the back here somewhere there's this other piece of dress, which I'm still yet to find where it goes, but it goes along here somewhere. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean up all the pieces, I'm going to charge some batteries, and I'm going to come back to you when we have the sub-assemblies built and they are ready to paint. See you in a sec. Okay, so we are back with the Apocalypse Ghost. Everything is now primed, so I'm going to talk you through everything quickly and then we're going to get on to priming it. I'll just move these out of the way. So here we have the base, the very lovely main base with the grave of the Apocalypse Ghost down at this end here, and all the metal and wood and mud and rocks and whatever else we've got here. So you can see here just prime the top, not bother with the bottom. On the sides maybe I'll do a base rim to go onto it, maybe not. I might just try and make it blend. But there we are. There's the base. I forgot the word for a second there. Here we've got the try and bring him closer. We've got the Survivor here with his goggles, his gas mask, his scarf, the flowers, the bandaged arm. This looks very cool. As you see here, lots and lots of nice details on it. I'll put him down. There is a piece of corrugated metal that goes into the base, if you see those two holes on the left there, this just plugs in and sits there. Or just put that down. You can have the Apocalypse Ghost standing there. So here's the Apocalypse Ghost. I'm primed her white to make it easier to paint ghostly colours onto her. I did snap off a piece from her dress, which should go somewhere about there. I snapped that off when priming her. It should be an easy fix, or I might just leave it off, I'm not sure. But there is the beautiful Apocalypse Ghost, and then the noise you just heard there was me touching the separate base. So if you put the corrugated metal into the base, you can put the Apocalypse Ghost into this sort of ghostly fire and just have her stood on her own. I think I am going to do this, so I have this like that, and then put the metal into the other base. But let's take it piece by piece and get it painted up. Alright, so we are back with everything painted. I think I did say that I would come back when things were primed, but I figured you've seen enough primed models by now if you've been watching the channel. If you haven't seen primed models, be sure to go find some more videos. You'll see primed models. We'll start off, I think, with the Survivor. So there's his lovely face. Just strolling with the focus as per. I have copied the art, so hopefully you can see the art here right now. If I put him like that, it should look something like what it used to. His trousers, of course, are much brighter, and I think quite a lot of the colours are much brighter. I'll just play. There we are. That's a bit better. So yeah, you can see. Try to copy it as much as I can. There's a gloss coat on those lenses. The light might just pick up, maybe not. No, I don't think it will. I really like how this guy is. I like my version of Jazza's Apocalypse Survivor. So we'll put him there. Next up we'll show the blue ghostly base. This is done with the blue and then just a simple white heavy dry brush over the top. You can see I based it red in an ode to Jazza, whose avatar has this red t-shirt. You can see there's still the old resin underneath. So that's that. Move on to the ghost herself. Exactly the same treatment as the base. Can I bring her in a bit? No. There we are. Yeah, so she got painted light blue as excuse me, sorry. She got painted light blue, as you can see on the right hand side again. So that's all over light blue with the heavy white dry brush on both sides. The bit I broke off while priming, didn't bother putting back on, just because I like it how it is. Didn't think it needed it. So you can see there a bit more of a zoomed out version. If I can get the camera working, there we are. You can see her in her glory, all shining in the light from the right hand side there. There's this teeny tiny bit of corrugated metal that goes in where the feet could go on this, the main base. If I zoom out, and oh, look at that little hair set there. Yeah, I might just have to show it like this. So you can see there's the metal all over. That got the red base rim treatment. That's the grave. Now, some of you might be noticing that the colours are a little off on some of this. There's some black piping there, which can't be seen in the original image. But some of you might be realising some of the colours are off, and that is because I did it entirely with these guys. And these are the Army Painter Warpings. See if we can get you. There we are. So I used matte black. I used demonic yellow. I used dragon red. Oak brown. Where's that? Crystal blue. There's a little bit of goblin green. There's matte white. Fur brown. There's the gloss coat I used, just simply gloss varnish. And plate mail metal. And last but not least, classic Army Painter Strong Tone. These did come in the box with the miniatures. There's also greedy gold and some brush on primer. Do be looking out for those guys in an upcoming video. Those guys will make an appearance, but given that they came with the box, I figured I would try and paint the box almost as intended. It's not going to focus up for this, is it? Okay, so I'll give you a quick dry fit in a minute. Well, in a second. Then we'll glue things together and do some glamour shots. So there we are, the best as I can get it in shot, the Apocalypse Ghost. Obviously the ghost should be stood upright, her head doesn't quite fit in frame if we do that. So we'll just move the Survivor to the side, bring the Apocalypse Ghost and the base in. Here's my handy dandy Loctite super glue. Not a sponsor, but is another thing that came in that box. So what we're going to do is just drop a couple of little drops of the glue inside the base, and then just hold her by the dress and by the feet. Make sure she stands up nice and straight. I do feel like repurposing this miniature. I know I've only just got it painted and everything, but I do feel like I could repurpose it into a statue for Dungeons and Dragons, maybe? I don't know. We'll see. Okay. Fairly sure that's going to hold. So we'll bring in... sorry for all the scratching and scraping noises. We'll bring in this, and once again just lean in. Drop little dabs of super glue in there. And glue this. Is that the right way around? Is that the right way around? No, that's the right way around. Though I had it before. This is why you should always dry fit things, because even I dry fit something and it wasn't quite right. Okay, so that should sit fine, and then we can drop some super glue in there, and there, on his knee, on his other knee, and just underneath him. I don't know how much of that you saw, so I do apologise if it was nothing. And he can just sit there. I will say I did already glue the grave into the base. So there we have it. That is my version of Jazza's Apocalypse Ghost. There she is. Can we You can't bring her into focus. She can fade away like a real ghost. I had some real fun painting this actually. It's the first time I've worked with resin models like this. It's the first time I've painted 75mm scale, so that was quite fun. It's the first time I dry brushed really, so it's nice to see that turning out well. Yeah, all round this was a great success. And the army painter paints, the first time I've used those. Oh, sorry buddy. The first time I've used those, they were great. They work really, really well. I've heard mixed reviews about them, so I wasn't quite sure. I am obviously still yet to use Greedy Gold and their brush-on primer, but I will use them at some point, so stay tuned for that. With all that being done, I think we're about ready to end, so please like, subscribe, share with your friends, comment down below, tell me what you liked, what you didn't like about the video. Yeah, I realised the other day I've been on YouTube for a year. Not posted all that many videos, but I've been on YouTube a year now, and I realised I don't have an outro. So I guess I'm gonna improvise an outro right now. So thank you all very much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you next time.